Hey guys, today we're going to go over 2 exercises that you can use for injury prevention and mobility. So we're at Black Rock Bouldering Gym in Phoenix, Arizona, and I apologize if there's some noise in the background. There's just a little construction. But I have Kim here with me. He's the Ninja Fit instructor here at Black Rock. He also has a degree in health and kinesiology as well as a background in personal training. So I thought he'd be a great person to teach us some mobility and injury prevention exercises. So Kim, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And can you tell us a little bit about the 2 exercises you have in mind that we should do to stay healthy as climbers?
Sure. So these 2 exercises are the toe touch and the overhead squat assessment. So these 2 exercises focus on pelvic stability, mobility in the knees and ankle, focusing on the lower body, as most climbers don't really get that much focus on injury prevention on those areas.
Right, yeah, we tend to neglect our lower halves in climbing a little bit.
Right.
Okay, cool. So, so I know you've got 2 exercises. So what's the first one pertaining to balance? Can you describe that? What's it called?
Yeah, the first one is the toe touch.
Toe touch.
And
okay.
how this works is you're going to stand on one foot with the other foot off the ground 3 to 5 inches. Heel and toe are in line with each other. The foot off the ground, heel is in line with the toe on the ground. The action is to bend at the knee and ankle, and at the waist, touching the toe with your opposite hand. Some notes to focus on is your knee should stay in line with your toe on the bend. Both legs bend, so both knees, both toes stay in line with each other. And then you also want to focus on keeping any hip shift going left or right. So the hips should stay aligned with your body, knee in line with your toe, everything focusing towards that toe on the ground.
Okay.
Those hips shifting left and right is an indicator that you have some overcompensation or lack of flexibility in the pelvic girdle.
Okay, great. So when you go down and touch your toe, let's say that's 1 repetition, about how many do you usually do?
So the beginning stage, you want to do everything on a solid surface, and you want to do just 10 repetitions. So 1 set of 10, and you work your way up to 2 sets of 10, and then you work your way up to 1 set of 16, and then 2 sets of 16. And then the progression of that will be going to a non-stable surface, or like on a crash pad.
A soft surface.
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, because that'll force you to stabilize more.
What this does is it builds your sensitivity to proprioception, or your ability to recognize any overcompensation or undercompensation in your muscles and ligaments.
Okay, great, awesome. So what's the second exercise you wanted to show us?
Sure. So the second exercise is actually an assessment exercise, but it's a very good exercise to implement into your workout routine. It's called the overhead squat assessment, or the overhead squat. So this setup is pretty simple. Start off with your feet hip width apart. Toes can be slightly pointed out a little bit. Hands overhead in line with your ears. The squat comes down. Hands stay overhead, slowly squatting down. Knees in line with your toes. Hips preventing that shift left or right again. All the way down to just past parallel to the ground. Hold and then come back up nice and slow. So the control down and the control up build proprioception again, right? And also identifies any instabilities that you have.
What would be an indicator of instability?
Sure, that's a great question. Really good indicators are if your knees valgus in or varus out, meaning if your knees bow in as you squat down or push out as you go down. Those will identify any overcompensations in your hips, legs, calves, and your knees. Any of those movements, and you should really focus on either releasing the myofascia of your IT bands or increasing activation in your quadriceps or calves.
Okay, when you referred to releasing the tissue or doing a myofascial release, you could just do that maybe with a foam roller or balls.
Yeah, ball, okay. Even just the palm of your hand, the heel of your hand, just kind of like rub those out a little bit.
Okay.
Where any like tension spots, you kind of hold there for a second and then and work those out.
Okay, and keeping the hands overhead, I notice when I do that I get this significant stretch in my back. Can you tell me what that means?
So the overhead squat also identifies any tightness in your frontal region or any overcompensation in the muscles in the back and shoulders. Any pulling forward with your hands means that you have some tightness in your chest and that your back muscles tend to be a little bit stronger than your abdominals and your chest. So your abs and your chest intersect with each other. And if your back is really strong, you'll feel that stretch in your back.
Gotcha.
It'll push you forward.
Okay, sounds like a stereotypical climber.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. So great. So that's really a safe way to do squats and notice whether or not you're really using proper form.
Exactly.
Without having someone else there to watch you. You can just do this yourself.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Great.
Progression of that is, you do no weights, as slow and controlled as possible, 10 repetitions, 10, 12, and then you work your way up to 16
Right.
In 2 sets. This assessment will also help prevent any of these postural issues that most climbers tend to have, like kyphosis, which is also known as upper cross syndrome, or pushing your shoulders forward, head coming forward.
The hunch.
The hunch, right?
Okay.
So this identifies any of those muscles and postural issues that most people, like not even just climbers, most people have.
Yeah, just people who have desk jobs or hunch over in their car. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Great. And what I really like about these is that, they do get tiring, surprisingly, but they're also really easy to do, like in between climbs or in between a campus board session, in between your hangboard session. If you're taking a 3-minute break between a campus set or a hangboard set, then it's really easy to just work these in, and it's not going to take away from those activities or from the strength you need for those exercises.
Exactly. There are other examples online, in other venues, but I think this video will do a very good job at identifying anything that we have issues with.
Okay, great. Yeah, great place to start. Well, thank you very much for showing us these.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. And if you have any comments about these exercises, just leave a comment below. But thank you for watching, and look out for future climbing and training videos. See ya.